Welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I've identified 10 free agents Walsall could potentially look at signing this summer transfer window. Most teams now in the EFL have released their retained list from the 2023-24 season, so it's time to look ahead now for potential transfer targets we as a club could sign, because there's still areas of improvement for Walsall in specific positions on the pitch. So we'll go into the video, target the areas we need to improve, and suggest some names we could sign. So yeah, let's get into the video. Two players for the upcoming position I'm going to suggest Walsall maybe have to sign this summer. I've got goalkeeper. With Owen Evans being released and the potential departure of Jackson Smith, we've offered him a contract, but there's no movement on his side for him to accept or decline at the moment. So potentially Walsall could be looking at to sign two goalkeepers going into this season. So the first name I've got down is Callum Burton, recently released at Plymouth Argyle. I think would be a good option for Walsall. You know, he's a massive part of Plymouth's side. Played a big part towards the second half of the season when Michael Cooper got injured. He stepped in really well in between the sticks and got Plymouth promoted in the 2022-23 season. Limited game time this season, but at League 2 level I think he'd be a real good option. I think he would demand the number one shirt dropping down the leagues, but if Jackson Smith doesn't sign on, I think this could be an option Walsall could look at. Second name I've got down is Jordan Smith, recently released at Stockport County. I think this one would be a decent signing and one Walsall should be looking at. Even if we keep Jackson Smith, I think he would be a solid number two. He probably wants to be a number one now. You know, he's 29 years old. He's had limited game time over the last 5-6 years. I don't think he's played more than 50 games in the last 6 years. So something he'll want to get in between the sticks more regularly now. I think when he's played, I think Stockport fans said when he played last season and when he had the opportunity, he looked like a talented goalkeeper. So one Walsall could be looking at. 29 years old, like I said, he's got the experience, but if he was to be signed, he'll be determined to fight for that number one spot. Another name I'd like to throw out there in the goalkeeping department. Obviously, I've heard the news that Neil Everidge has been released from Birmingham City. Could this be one Walsall could be looking at? Maybe a little bit unrealistic, but for League 2 level would be a real coup. We know what we're getting from Neil Everidge was a massive part of the 2015-16 season where we nearly got promoted. Brilliant shot stopper and would be a real coup at League 2 level. But yeah, let me know in the comments if this one could be possible or not. We've been needing a proper right wing back now for the last 18 months since Liam Bennett has replaced. So obviously the name I'm going to suggest now is in the right back / right wing back department, and the name I've gone for is Oscar Rutherford. Recently been released at Eastleigh, which comes as a surprise really. I think he's got bags of potential. He's had a good season at Eastleigh. He's a player full of energy. I think he'd be a good suit for that right wing back job. He can dribble at defenders. I think he completes an average 3.5 dribbles per game and a 70% successful rate of them. So shows a real good quality, and yeah, one that could suit the Trevella model of bringing young players in, young profiles. So I think this would be a smart move for Walsall, and one which wouldn't be a bad shape for the Saddlers. Next name I've got is in the centre back department. Jacob Bido from Morecambe, recently released, and Walsall should be targeting a couple of new bodies in the centre back department. We picked up 3 injuries really last season to some of the key centre backs who are still here. Donovan Daniels, Priestley Ferguson, Harry Williams spent a lengthy amount of times on the sideline. So Walsall should be recruiting in this position for cover really, and potentially one of these to play. And I think the 24-year-old recently released from Morecambe could be a real good pickup. He's quite strong, he's good in the air, left-footed as well, so would provide for the natural competition of Tyler Allen at that left centre back role. And yeah, 24 years old, so plenty of room to grow in him. And if you look at his stats, he was the second most in terms of duels won in the league last season, which is pretty good for a Morecambe side that finished 15th. 43 games played as well, so was a regular starter for the Shrimps. So yeah, I think this would be a smart addition. Moving into the midfield department now, I'm going to provide one of a centre mid, number 8 role, and an attacking midfielder, so more of a number 10. So my first one, the centre mid, I'm going to go with Charlie Lakin. I think obviously recently released from Burton Albion in League One. I think he had a really good spell at Sutton United in the second half of last season on loan. Really shone in a team that got relegated. 8 goals and 5 assists, so provides you with some goal contributions going forward. But I think his work off the ball as well is really good and could provide us, a box-to-box operating midfielder. And we know Jack Earing has his injury worries, so we'll need to be having a couple of options in that role next season. And I think Charlie Lakin is the player we should go and sign. Geography works as well in this one, but he was at Burton Albion for the last couple of seasons, isn't too far away from Walsall, and he was also at Birmingham City to start his career. So one Walsall should be looking at, I think, would be a real good signing on free transfer. And the attacking midfielder I've put forward, I think there's going to be a lot of competition for this man. Recent release from MK Dons, I think you know which player I'm going to go for, Dan Kemp. Said it a couple of times on here, I think he's the man we should go and sign if we want to show ambition going into next season. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of competition coming in for him. Potentially League 1, definitely League 2 sides are going to, hoping to get the signature of Dan Kemp. His stat itself just speak for itself really. 17 goals and 11 assists, a real top quality season from Dan Kemp. And whenever I've watched him, he's just a magic player really. Probably not quality wise yet, but in terms of the way he plays, he reminds me of an Erhan Oztumer type player. Left footed. He's quite small, but his movement and agility is absolutely quality, and he provides you with a dynamic as well off the ball. He works for the team, and yeah, I think it'd be a real good signing. But like I said, we'll have to show lots of ambition to get this one over the line, which we should be doing now. We should be targeting these players if we want to get out the league. Even though we don't play with wingers, I'd like to suggest 2 wingers. Walsall are going to have a plan B next season just in case the 3-5-2 doesn't work. And the 2 names I'm going to put forward, they are versatile as well. One can play in the 10 and one can play as a striker as well. So the first name I'm going to put forward is Stephen Duke McKenna. On loan, another player on loan at Sutton United. I was really impressed with him when he come to the Bescott last season in the 1-1 draw. Played off the left and was going against Tom Knowles, I think, at the time at right wing back. And we couldn't cope with him. Every time he got on the ball, every time he drove at our defence was on the back foot every time. He was direct, he got on the ball, and he just went for it. And, I was really impressed with him. Quite a tenacious player as well, didn't give up. And yeah, I think this is a good player we also should be looking at. 23 years old, and we've also got the Liam Gordon connection there, both Guyana internationals. So hopefully Liam Gordon could be trying to lure him to the Saddlers. Yeah, I think he's been released from QPR as well. 23 years old, so perfect age for now for him to kick on in his career. And I think Walsall could be a good place for him at League 2 level and a place he could express himself. The next name I've got down is Jack Diamond, recently released from Sunderland. And I think a couple seasons ago when he was on loan at Harrogate, I think he's up there with one of the best players in the league. What I saw on first hand, every time I watched him, I was really impressed with him. He's quite a strong lad, but he's also quite quick as well. And I think when he gets the ball at his feet, and I think if you give him too much time, he's gonna bully you. And yeah, he's a real good player, and I think he needs a club now to provide him with that a chance to go and express himself again. I thought he was good at Lincoln on loan a season or 2 ago. Recently released from Sunderland, like I said, and he needs a platform now to build himself up the leagues again, because I think he's a top quality player on his day. Still at a good age, 24 years old, and yeah, plenty of an ability there. Onto the final position and the final two players. I think it's no question Walsall need to bolster in the striking department. Um, since Freddie Draper left last season on when Lincoln recalled him from his loan, we didn't have a comfortable front two that were going to provide us with a goal scoring threat. So two names I've put forward could do this, and the first name is Harry Smith. Actually been released today from Sutton United. Hasn't decided to stay at the club, so obviously want to move back up to the EFL. And I believe we were actually close to signing Smith when Flynn was at the club on loan from Leyton Orient. And yeah, I watched him 2 times last season in person, and in the first game when we lost 4-0, he bullied our defence. And I think if we're talking about a proper target man, Smith is the one. He's a handful. Harry Smith, he's a handful. He scored 11 goals this season in League 2. For a team that got relegated, I think that's pretty good. From the 29-year-old on a free transfer, wouldn't be a bad pickup, I believe. So yeah, if we're looking for another target man, I think Harry Smith would be a decent option for the Saddlers. And the next name I've got down is John Marquis. Probably a little bit unrealistic. I think there'll still be League One clubs looking at him, but if Walsall want to push up the league, like I said, I think Marcus would be a good signing. Hasn't hit the numbers he wanted this season, but like I said, he's got the experience. He's bagged goals in wherever he's gone. He was really good at Doncaster, quite prolific there. Then he had a couple of good seasons at Portsmouth. I think he got up to 18 goals in one of his seasons, which is the type of striker we need. And then I think in the 2022-23 season, I think he got up to about 11 goals for Bristol Rovers. So shows you he's still got it in front of goal, and I think he offers a dimension off the ball as well. He's a striker that, he can do that pressing job if you want him to do, but he's a goal scorer that Walsall should be looking at 32 years old. That's still a good enough age. If you look at the goal scorers last season, Andy Cook, 34, Matt Smith, who was close to putting on this list at 35. I think he scored, over 20 goals last season. It might have been close on 25. And yeah, if you're talking about a target man, he's the one. He's one of the best target man in the league last season. But I just have a feeling he may move on now from football. So yeah, I'll go with Harry Smith and John Marquis for the two strikers I've suggested. So that's it for this video. I've suggested 10 free agents Walsall could potentially look at. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on the suggestions I've provided in this video. Leave any in the comments below, and I'll get back and feedback. And yeah, that's the whole point in these videos. Be good discussion in the comments if you can get there and there. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Leave in the comments your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.